I have seen this industry booming in last 10 years. In worst case situation, if I had to go back home, one thing that I have been like, I don't want to be in a debt of 30 lakhs and then be like, oh my God,
Hmm.
how am I going to recover it?
This is interesting. So you got the GA position before you flew?
Yeah, yes.
What?
Yes.
Okay, interesting.
I had like $10,000 of scholarship as well as 10 hours of work with a professor. All the other students, like after me, who has come to University of SUNY, they all have been accepted in a one shot for their F1 visa.
30 people in your batch or 40 people in your batch, how many of them ended up actually getting the internship? Or was it all of them, or was it some who didn't get?
Most of the students who passed out after graduation are working for a big firm. Nobody talks about, and I know like last all your post has been talking about like, hey, it looks like shiny world when you come to United States, but it is not as shiny as we think, because we just glorify the good part, but nobody talks about mental health issue, or nobody talks about the harsh reality.
Before you watch this, I just want to say that if you're planning to come to United States, you have to crack F1 visa interview, and that is going to be the most important interview of your life, because that can change your life. And guess what? Many students get rejected because they don't understand what visa officers are thinking and how are they making that decision. To solve this problem, I made the ultimate F1 visa course with a visa officer who served in Mumbai consulate and Delhi consulate for 5 years. She approved and denied more than 40,000 visas. So she knows and understands how visa officer is thinking, what they think about approving and denying. I'll give you a quick sneak peek. Here's what our course look like, and it is comprehensive. Each sessions are like long. There is DS 160, entirely step by step process, preparing what did you have to do day before, day during, what to say, what not to say, what to wear, documents you need to take, what to expect at the interview, what is the successful criteria, if you had refusal, how to overcome that, what are the most common questions, how to answer finance related questions, mock interview, and bonus guides as well. Trust me, this is the most comprehensive F1 visa course that you will ever need to watch. So if you're interested, link is in the description. And now I'll let you enjoy the video. Thank you, Tina, for doing this. Really means a lot. I know we've been planning and talking about this. So finally, here it is, and I'm excited. Also, you are going to start this, generation of like UX and other career, because people are telling me like, "Arey, bhai, please do something other than just product management and computer science." So finally, this is still tech, but something different than product and project management or computer science. So again, thank you so much for being here. I'm excited for people to learn about your story. We're going to do two videos. One is on UX journey, but then this one is on your university. But before we get started, let's do a quick intro, like where are you from, what do you do, and fun stuff.
Definitely. First of all, I am having a fangirl moment, Yudi, to be on the call with you. And secondly, being coming from the same city as well as coming from a Gujarati background, I think one of the most exciting thing to talk to you is, okay, I can switch my language. Kim cho maja aane. So that's something excited to do this throughout the call. But I am more than happy to be on this call, not just because I think during my journey when I was coming to United States as well as like looking for a job, I have taken like some inspiration from your YouTube channel and also from your from LinkedIn as well as on your Instagram stories. So I think it's so much relatable, and to be on the other side of the table, right?
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
feel I can share a lot, but at the same time, it's all learning that I have had from like your journey. So I'm more than excited to be on the call, and as I said, like it is just a pleasure for me to be on.
You're very sweet and very kind. Thank you so much. But
Definitely.
yeah, let's do quick intro. Where are you from, and what do you do now? What do you do in US, and what did you do? Like, what do you do study and all of that?
So I'm Tina Gada, and I've been living in United States from last 6 years. Currently, I'm working for Vanguard as a UX designer, and based out of Dallas. I come from Mumbai, India, and I've done my master's in human-computer interaction from SUNY Oswego.
I love it. I'm going to explore the human computer interaction. And then, obviously, in the next video, we're going to talk about like how the UX journey happened, because you also transition from software engineer to UX. So, I think that's going to be an interesting to talk about. But before we get, like, a lot of people like to know the profile. Like, do you remember what was your GRE, TOEFL, and like, give us like a background, like what was your profile?
Definitely. So I think while I was doing my software development, working with Seclor, I realized that there was the bit of piece which was missing. Is like I always enjoyed doing um, you interaction, or like I always enjoyed working for front end in a way where I'm like humanizing the experience, but I did not know what to do. So I started exploring this program called human computer interaction,
Mm,
and had certain hesitation in terms of like how am I going to go for GRE and TOEFL, because like you are working 9 hours in like office, and then you are going you have to go and study. So I would say like the journey was little bit difficult, but I scored 300 in GRE. I got somewhere around 89 out of 120 in TOEFL, which was not good, but
better than me. Better than me. So yeah.
and we change at this point. So
And then you had 3 years of experience, and then what was your bachelor's GPA?
my bachelor's GPA was good. I had 3.8 in my
Hmm.
undergrads. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Before we move on to the next part, I want to quickly talk about that LinkedIn is very important when it comes to job search, and you want to optimize your LinkedIn before you come to United States or while you're looking for the job. And here is the 100-page guide that I built, and along with that, I also have a course on LinkedIn. I'm going to give you a quick sneak peek of the 100-page guide. Feel free to check it out and let me know what you think. Here's the guide that I built, and you can see there's a lots and lots of screenshots and comments and strategies and how to apply and how to network and so on and so forth. And again, I know that LinkedIn is going to be your online resume. So if you want to check out, link is in the description. And now I'll let you enjoy the video. Cool. So you are like, at this point, I want to start my master's journey. And like you started thinking about doing your master's. What's the first thing that you did, like after giving your entrance exams?
Okay, so I had couple of university in my mind, and being Gujarati, one thing that you always think about is like how much you want to save and how much of a returns are you going to get once you get the job, and how you're going to pay your loans and whatnot. So my calculation was always towards finances, and based on that I selected my university and I did research on that. So my
Hmm.
mind was like, I applied for 5 university in Canada. I
Oh,
applied for
wow.
3 university in United States because I knew about the visa restriction. I knew about like how soon I'm going to get PR if I go to Canada versus United States, and what are the differences in terms of lifestyle, living, and expenses. So my mindset was like, try everywhere, and if you get picked up with United States University, you are going to go forward with that because it's booming in the market. For second thing, the IT value is more in United States compared to other countries. But I
Hmm.
have no hopes, I would say, because I come from a Gujarati medium, and I was slightly hesitant in terms of like what if I won't be able to speak, what if I don't get the job after spending like 2 years of my masters, and like because of
Hmm.
my language barrier. I never
Hmm.
doubted my skills, but it was always the language barrier, and I think that it
You
was
speak great English. What are you talking about?
yeah, you should have met me 5 years back, and you would prefer that
Mm,
language. But
mm,
to be very honest, so I had like those insecurity before
yeah.
even I started this journey. So
Mm,
because of which, I selected the university where I felt little bit safe, I would say, and not given myself a lot of chances. Like I could have applied for Northeastern, which also provides HCI program. I did not thought of going to Pace University because I was like, what if I couldn't fit into the New York City vibe? So
mm.
those were
You're
my
from Mumbai, but yes. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But those were my things. But I selected university based on, like, how much scholarship I'm going to get, and how much on campus opportunity I would have versus
Got it. Okay, so your selection criteria was cost, courses, coursework, scholarship, and on-campus job opportunities. So I think all of them really turns down to cost and coursework. So
Correct.
okay, and did you apply for only human-computer interaction, or did you apply for any other masters?
I only applied for human computer interaction. So that was one thing that I was very sure that I wanted to switch, because this is something that I'm doing for my passion.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
I did not wanted to do masters in information technology or masters in computer science, because I'm like,
yeah.
I don't want to go into development.
Yeah, you had a very good clarity ki, this is it, this is my thing that I want to pursue, and I'm gonna
Yes,
keep doing this. Okay, and so uh, one thing that I think not a lot of people talk about is, so obviously in your case you were doing software engineering. Now you realize that I want to do something with front end, something humanize the user experience of digital products, right? So that's what you figured out. So
correct.
you kind of knew that you want to become like UX designer, UX strategist. So you had the roles in mind, then you've picked which masters is going to help me get to that role. Is that accurate?
Yes, and that is definitely what you said is accurate. And because I had a work experience, and that pushed me something towards like what I really wanted to do. Not that it is always codependent, like you need to have a I'm not saying that you need to have a work
Right.
experience.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But because you worked in the industry, you knew ki
Yes,
where to go. Okay.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You knew what you didn't like,
yeah,
so to say.
yeah,
Right. Okay. And if you can tell us, like, we're going to talk about this in a separate video as well, but uh, if someone does the masters in human computer interaction, what are the career roles they can get into?
definitely. So I think I am not exaggerating this part, but the sky is the limit, to be very honest.
Mm.
I have seen this industry booming in last 10 years. And
Mm.
when I started, I was just exploring myself as a UX designer. But now, if you do a job search, somebody who is doing HCI masters and going for a job, they will have tons of opportunity. Something like you can be expert as a motion designer, you can also be an expert as gamification expert, you can
Mm.
also design for something like product designer, you can also take a route of product manager. So when I see, when you think of doing HCI, it's tons of opportunity, because like artificial intelligence is also part of it, machine learning is also
Mm.
part of HCI, virtualization, the building product, building industrial design components is also part of HCI. So it depends on what you really want to do, because one person can go to HCI from mechanical engineering background, knowing the mechanics of the product. One can go from marketing to a human computer interaction. So it depends on what you really want to pursue, and based on that you shape your career by taking a right courses, by taking a right internship, and then you choose your path. But it is not limited like
So it's
other.
not just UX designers role
Correct.
or just UX researcher or strategist. There
Yes,
are other, like, you could get into product marketing. You can also get product designer, product manager.
yes,
That's just tech side, but then physical product designing as well. It sounds like you can get into that as well.
yes.
Mm, nice. Okay, cool. So you listed. I mean, we won't talk about Canada, but you obviously got three. How many admits did you get from US universities? You applied to three.
Yeah, I got two of them, and I did got reject from Georgia Tech.
Okay, and then
Yeah,
what were the other two that you got admit from?
Sunny Oswego, and another one was Rochester University.
Sunny Oswego. Sorry, it's
Yes.
like hard to
Okay,
pronounce
so
it.
generally people pronounce Sunny like Sunny Buffalo,
Yeah,
Sunny
yeah,
Binghamton,
yeah.
and but American pronounce it Sunny.
Sunny. Right, right, right. Yeah,
My
yeah.
habit of pronouncing Sunny
Yeah,
Oswego,
no.
pronounce
Yeah,
Sunny.
that wasn't the hard part, but the hard part is Oswego,
Okay,
and it's
okay.
like interesting because I've never heard of that university before until we met, and when you told me first time, even I had that same reaction, like I've never heard of it. So first is that Rochester obviously is known university. Um, what made you decide go to Oswego? My hunch is that it's the cost because Rochester is probably more expensive. But what was your decision criteria that okay, I want to go to Oswego?
Yes, definitely. So one thing that I was doing my own research in terms of living expenses, in terms of opportunities, as well as like both of those universities are in upstate New York. So one thing that I didn't thought or back then was the location is not going to be a problem because I'm going to be always close to New York City if in case I wanted to go there and look for a job. But another thing that I was very sure about is my own skills, because not just I had a work experience, but even in my undergrads I had taken a couple of courses which was my strength in terms of pushing myself to become a very good designer. So I never thought university would matter to me. Second thing is the cost of living. Sunny Oswego is quite cheaper. I was like paying $350 to have my own room, and
Mm,
also like everything else was quite cheap. I
mm,
saw the cost of the courses that I was taking was comparatively less. I also had a scholarship, so
mm.
those things added up to my
Final decision.
final
Mm,
decision, because i I was sponsoring my own masters. So one of the another challenge that I had, like, hey, I do not have the liberty to ask my parents to give me some money or like help me with
mm,
my loan. So again, having that pressure in your mind, you want to be very calculative in terms of making the decision, because in worst case situation, if I had to go back home, one thing that I have been like, I don't want to be in a debt of 30 lakhs and then be like, oh my God,
mm,
how am I going to recover it? So,
mm,
a
mm.
huge decision was a huge decision factor for me to go to SUNY Oswego.
Right. So, what you're going to watch is an amazing story. But before you watch that, I just want to quickly say that all of these story, I compile the key insights from these stories and all the podcasts that I do. And I put this in my free exclusive newsletter community. Every week, more than 16,000 people receive my newsletter and they love it. And here are some of the examples you can see. This was a podcast on George Mason universities, and you can see how to network and 10% cold emailing, powerful LinkedIn techniques, and so on and so forth. So if you're interested in becoming part of this exclusive newsletter community, absolutely free. Link is in the description, or you can go to udj.com/newsletter. It sounds very similar to my story. I had admit from Chico State and also USC, and everyone's like, "Why would you not go to USC?" I was like, "I don't have, I don't have money." So, Ed, I think your mindset was also very clear. Like, I believe in my skills, so just get me there, give me an admission. I will figure out a way to like make sure that I build up my skills and get internships and job. But like college is not what I'm going to be dependent on. I'm going to be depending on my own skill set, which sounds like that's also same thing I applied in my case, that I don't get, just get me
Yeah,
into the school and I'll figure out and I'll work hard to build the skills to eventually make my career. So
yeah.
SUNY Oswego is what you decided to choose, and we'll talk about, I think, cost. You said a scholarship, like how much did you get the scholarship, and like did you do separate application for it, or just because they liked your profile they're like, Tina, we love you and we want to give you $10,000 per semester?
I wish people do that. Okay, but so I had a graduate assistantship as soon as I got into the university. I applied for GA roles before making any decisions about the university. So I had like $10,000 of scholarship, as well as 10 hours of work with a professor, Damien Schofield. So which was going to help me build my profile as a researcher. So
Wait,
that,
wait. So this is interesting. So you got the GA position before you flew?
yeah. Yes.
What?
Yes.
Okay, interesting. We're gonna talk more about that too. So
Yeah.
that's okay. So that makes more sense. You had on-campus job lined up. You had a scholarship, and the cost of living and everything in Oswego is obviously cheaper. Overall
Correct.
tuition fees is also cheaper compared to RIT. So that was the decision that you made.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So we'll explore more on the scholarship angle, which sounds like it's not like it wasn't like scholarship which a lot of universities gives out, but it's more like GA position. Because of that, that's your stipend and $10,000 scholarship. So we'll explore that in a minute, but let's talk about next step comes down to visa, F1 visa, right? So um, and that is like the interesting story. I feel one, I don't know how the visa officers reacted to Sunny Oswego. So like, what was your experience?
So this is very interesting, and I always laugh when I talk about my visa experience. So my interview was on 27th of May. I remember the date very well because I pick it up precisely. And the first thing that I did when I was about to reach to the embassy was I called my friend who is in United States, and I'm like, "Hey, my interview is there. I just want you to wish me best of luck." And she was with her parents, and her
Mm.
parents are like, making a joke that, hey, we have already contacted Obama. He was the president at that time, so you just have to do the formality and come back. And I was just like, having this mindset that whatever happens, I'm just going to go and be myself.
Mm.
So and I remember it was very easy. I
Mm.
They asked me a couple of questions, and this was like the way you said, like, you have never heard about Sunny Oswego. I was also in the same boat where even though I'm applying for this university, but I have not heard many Indians talking about it. And one of the
Yeah.
things as an Indian we think is like, hey, we need to be where everyone is going, like be a part of a crowd. And I also had the similar mentality back then, but they did not, like the person who the counselor who
Officer. Yeah.
officer who was taking my interview, they already knew the university. They verified the I-140. They also verified my resume.
I-20.
Yeah.
I-140. I understand you are in the green card process.
My bad.
Yeah.
I went I-20, and then they just asked me a couple of questions like why HCI, and I said like this is the experience. Like I spoke about why I wanted to be a UX designer, and I think that was all about it. Like within 5 minutes,
Mm.
not even 5 minutes.
5 minutes? That's a
Yeah,
long.
not even 5 minutes. That's what I'm saying. Like within 2 or 3 minutes, I just got like they accepted. They took my passport, and I was like, okay, what happened? I'm just out, and I called my friend again, and I said
Yeah.
that it has been
Okay.
accepted.
So they asked you why HCI. Did they ask you anything else, or what about university or anything?
Nothing. They just checked the document for verification purpose, and that was all about it.
Nice. Okay.
And just to add up, and like all the other students, like prior after me, who has come to University of SUNY, they all have been accepted in a one shot for their F1 visa. Second
Mm.
thing, during my batch, we were like, two or three Indians, but right now we have like 50 plus Indians in SUNY Oswego doing HCI program. So, like, it was just like a
Doing HCI program. Okay. Very
yes.
interesting.
So, that is like what I say. Ki this university was not known, but like now, since I have a really good
Now
presence.
Tina is gone, so everyone has to go. No,
You
I'm
got
just
it.
kidding.
You got it.
Right. Okay, cool. So, love it. Okay, you got the visa. Did you do anything? I'm assuming May, so you flew in August. That's my guess, right? So 3 4 months. So, like, what did you do? How did you utilize that time, or was it pretty much like packing and getting apartments and roommates and all of that? Like, what did you do in those 3 months?
I mean, I had a little rough patch, and it was like my dad was sick a little bit, so I
Mm,
had like a slightest rough journey, and I was
mm,
working till July. Yeah, so the only time period I had was like a 1 month where I wanted to meet my family. I wanted to be there for my like parents and also other friends and office
Mm,
colleagues. I had
mm,
worked for years, so there was also a
mm.
lot of things that you had emotionally attachment with. So it was like all the roller coaster life, but like most of the time, like it is all about packing, making sure that you are taking plus with you.
Vacuum seal T plus. Right.
And finding the roommate and like
How did you
find
find a roommate?
that was like I just spoke with my professor and I wanted some Indian, to be very honest, because like this was my first time flying internationally and living by myself. So luckily there were two other Indians who were also joining this program the same time,
Hmm.
and we decided to take a off-campus house. Most of the students prefer on-campus housing because it also has its own perk, like you get food for free, not free, but like minimum
Yeah,
amount.
like you have dorms and they have their
Yeah. So,
dining and all of that. Yeah.
yes, so it was like cost friendly as well as like cheap for them. But like for me, I was like, I wanted to live off campus and like have our own experiences about it. So me and my other two friends, we decided to take our own house and just live there. So that was something challenging, but yeah, we figured out like that's more cost friendly for us as an immigrant, and also we could cook, we could like have our own Gujarati meal. That was one thing which we were
Hmm.
like not
So,
compromising on.
and so, sorry, tracking back. So you reached out to professor, like who else is coming? And that professor said like, hey, here are some of the students, and then you connected with those students, and then you found the house, not an apartment. It sounds like you
Yeah,
said house. Okay.
yes.
uh, cool. And so interesting, because in New York the housing is very complex, at least in New York City is very complex. So how did you find the house and what was the rent?
Yeah. So the friend, she was also Gujarati, and she did the job of finding the house. So that was something that I did not do. But we had like a two-story apartment, and everything was really good because one thing which is good about upstate New York is it's very cheap, but also most of the apartment you go and live in is fully furnished for
Mm,
students as well as
okay.
for other people to live in. This house costed us $700 only for rent, and which cut down for me was $350 a month because I was not sharing my room, and other expenses come down to like $200 a month, like which includes Wi-Fi as well as like heating bill and gas bill, which was not bad. So I
Yeah.
almost paid $450 to $500 per month, like it kept
Yeah.
on varying
Yeah,
based on how.
utilities and rent is that, and then another maybe $200 for eating and all of that.
Yeah. So
Got it.
which come down to like $500 a month, and which was like half what I was making per month in like school life. So this was good.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nice. Okay, cool. So you had that figured out even before you fly. You were working till July, so you really didn't have time. So you used the time to like be with the friends and family, and then you flew. Nice, cool. So you landed, you made it to Europe, and so you took from Philadelphia to Syracuse, another domestic flight. You got there, and now how did you get to your apartment? How far is from Syracuse?
It is 45 minutes in bus or a car. So I had like my senior who was very generous enough, and thanks to my professor, he helped me get the connection. So they came to pick me up. They also lifted my bags to the first story apartment and house, and I just had a pizza for the first day itself in United States,
You
and
are
that was.
American. If you have pizza or burger on the first day, you are American. No, I'm just kidding. Yes.
So that was all about it. Like,
Mm,
yeah,
that's nice. Yeah, same. I think our seniors, my seniors also came, and then we did the same for our juniors. We would go and pick them up and then bring them. So that's nice. Okay, but like you had to obviously plan all of this because a lot of time people don't plan this. So you planned it, all of it. I want to now switch the conversation to how did you find the professor? what did you say and convince him to give you the graduate assistant before even you landed? So that's more interesting to me. So like tell us, like, how did you find it, and then what was the conversation like to convince him to get a GA position?
Definitely. So one thing that I did was I wanted to make sure I pay as less as possible from my pocket in order to like survive and finish
There's a
my.
consistent theme about you paying less. I understand that. Just kidding.
So
Right.
the good you mind,
Yeah,
always
yeah, yeah.
detail about me. So one thing that I was like, hey, I need to get a GA position or some sort of a scholarship. So as
Hmm,
soon as I got admitted to Sunny Oswego, I started looking up the professors on
hmm,
LinkedIn as well as on the Sunny Oswego website, and I
hmm.
found that Damien Schofield, he was a department head of HCI, and I also saw all the other professor working for the HCI department. I reached out to them over the email, made sure that I wrote a very good email to them, as well as attach my resume in every professor's email that I have sent. Not looking directly for the job, but also trying to make and build a relationship with them, but also having the intention clear that hey, this could be possibly an opportunity for me to work with them as in a researcher on any paper that they are working on to get some credit, or having the GA position or TA position under them. So I had that mindset
Got
very
it.
clear.
So, and so just to even drill down a little bit, you obviously you got the admit, you went to the, you started in the research mode, you found out list of 15, 20 professors who are in HCI. You
Yep,
started emailing them, cold emailing, and attached your resume. And you didn't know at that point of time that they had GA or RA positions. You are like, this is pure cold email with an intention of connecting, but then also maybe if they have an opportunity, then we can talk, kind of thing.
correct.
Okay, got it. And so obviously, the professor Damon, it sounds like he was intrigued and he responded, and that's how it went. Is it possible to get a screenshot of that email or like template or something that
Yeah,
uh,
I think I should have it. I definitely have that in my mail. I need to search it though, but I can find it
yeah, we
for you.
can put it so that people can see what you
Yep.
did, how did you approach it, and then yeah, and then the conversation happened. So looks like that professor reached out to you. He said, hey Tina, again, loved your profile, would love to. So was it a call, or was it pretty much like here's the scholarship?
I had to do application because there was this GA board that they had, and
Hmm,
the only additional step that I had to do was apply after getting accepted for my application, because that was the part of the process that they loved my profile, because the job that the candidate they were looking for also needed the same kind of a qualification that I already had. So
hmm,
that helped me. It was not like throwing myself like arrow in the dark, but it was more of like I did not know, but it worked in my favor in a way.
hmm, hmm.
So one thing that I would like suggest all the
Incoming students, yeah.
coming students is that you need to make sure you do more activities or extra curriculum during your college time, as well as like if you have a work experience, make sure that you diversify in a certain way when you're building your resume that can possibly help you towards getting opportunities like GA, or even just working under the professor can be helpful for your profile while you're applying jobs in United States. So that's it
Hmm.
for my profile.
Okay. And so again, to clarify, you sent him an email, he responded, he liked your profile. He's like, here's the link, apply formally because we have to get you in the system. You applied, and then that's pretty much it. Or was there an interview process or anything?
No, there was no interview process, luckily. I just got accepted, and that's like I got to know that I was accepted 30 minutes before I was flying. So I was like waiting at the gate, and all worried because my family had come to drop me off, and like I was trying to not to cry to show that I'm strong and I'll able to manage everything. But
Mm,
I got to know this confirmation. I was happy to my core, and I was like, okay, this is an indication that things will fall into the place, and
mm, mm.
uh, apparently it did. So
Nice. Okay. And so because of GA, you got monthly, sorry, you got like a semester wise scholarship, $10,000. That is
yeah,
waive off on your tuition fees.
correct.
Okay. And then you also got, I'm assuming, stipend, that 10 hours work that you were doing.
Yeah.
What's the typical range for that GA position?
So it depends on what level you are working on and how much sponsorship your department is getting. So generally, it is 450 to $700.
Acha,
Uh,
it's not per hour. It's directly per month.
per month you get it, and if you come down to like per hour, it's something around $23 or something, which is above the
Wow.
wages. Yeah,
What? That
but
is a lot. That is good. That is good. Okay.
yeah, so like, that's a benefit of having the GA or TA position, because then you do not have to do all the side hustles in
Mm.
campus like
Yes.
dining.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But mine was somewhere. So I got $400 per month, which was covering my rent, and there was like additional more like for other expenses. So I had to also do on-campus job as a in the dining hall, which
Mm.
was for another 5 to 7 hours, which was fine, manageable, but it was tiresome.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Obviously, it's a labor-intensive job because you're trying to like do dishes or serve or stand for 5 hours, right? So, and so, what is the pay range for in New York? What's the minimum pay?
It's $11 back then. I'm assuming it might have increased,
Yeah,
but
yeah, it has to be because my time, yeah, it was 9, 10, and now it's 15 in California. So I'm assuming it'll be more, but cool. Okay, so that was the whole scenario of you getting the on campus job and GA job as well. So now let's talk about the courses itself. Or actually, since we are talking about the cost, let's also talk about tuition fees. Um, what is the tuition fees? Like, how much is the total fees? Like, let's not count your the $10,000 that waive off. So, what would be tuition fees if you didn't have the scholarship?
yeah, so comparatively, like before, like generally per credit, it was $900 for international students. So it came down to like with including taxes and all the other insurance and whatnot. I
Mm,
paid per semester $17,000, I believe, and like overall 2 years of expense. Like I had another scholarship, but it came down to still I had paid 20 lakh Indian rupees, so it is a lot.
mm, yeah.
Because my scholarship it cut down, but like without scholarship it would be 50 lakh for 2 years of time
So,
span.
okay, and so 900, and how many credits do you need for masters in
uh,
your
33 without prerequisite, and with prerequisite it's 37 credit.
37? Okay, so that
Yeah,
would so was it 900 or was it more than 900? Do you know?
I think it was 990 or something, but I'm
So
not.
$1,000 roughly. So yeah, so 35,000 to $40,000 would have been your fees, but obviously you got the scholarships, and because of that, you got. Did that GA position lasted the entire masters?
No, I had it for my first year, and then I got a internship as well as another GA position for different department, and that was my second year experience. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Okay, cool. So cost wise, looks like not super expensive. $37,000. Assuming you also had to get like internship and all of that. Sorry, health insurance and that. So that might be an additional cost, but roughly 30,000 to $40,000, and you had on campus job. Everything went well over there. Now let's talk about coursework, because that's what I'm more interested in. Like, how did you design one? How did you design your master entire master's journey? And then what courses did you plan? Like, okay, I'm gonna take these three in this one, these three in this one, because assuming that is like the strategy that okay, I'm gonna take this so that I can get an internship.
Yeah. So I'm very strategical thinker when it comes to, again, building, and um, I already decided, like I already had plan well ahead before even I started taking courses or thought about the internship experience. So my first year, or I would say not first year, but first semester, there was like three courses that I had to take it. There was no compensation in terms of not taking and
Mm.
taking. So first was introduction to human computer interaction. There was one prerequisite because I don't come from a psychology major, so I had to take one psychology course in order to start doing research and all the other experiments that is the part of the program. And there was another course which was introduction to um, interaction design. Yeah, so those three course I had to take as a part of the first semester. Then I experimented. I also did a lot of research, like asking other UX designer who are there in the industry, reaching out to them on LinkedIn and understanding what are the day to day looks
Sorry,
like.
I'm sharing the screen so that way people can follow along and see. Am I at the right
Yeah, you are
program?
right program. Yes.
Okay, so this is the professor. Now everyone is gonna reach out to him.
Yeah,
uh,
be
Sorry,
happy.
professor. Okay, so it looks like you had 15 core credits that you have to take. At least it looks like
Yes,
this, right?
yes,
These were
yes.
the core that no options. You have to take this to get your master's degree, and then did you have to do two projects or did you do one?
No, I had to do two projects, which was also part of the core program.
Okay.
Yes.
So it looks like one, two, three, four, five, six, seven were obviously required. You have no choice. And then there are these electives, and then you decided to choose which one did you decide?
So, yes, from the electives, I did graduate web design, which was one of the very good course, and another one was graduate multimedia. So those
Mm.
were two courses that I had taken, along with one more, which was for my fun. I always enjoyed doing graphic designing. So I took one graduate graphic design course, print media, that was for my own experiment and making sure that I do brand design, I do printing media and whatnot. So
Cool. And then obviously you had a prerequisite of psychology, so that's not here, but you had to do this, and then you took internships. I'm assuming so. Internship was a part of your course that you have to do an internship, or was it like an optional?
it was optional, of course, but one thing which helped me having the internship was getting jobs much faster compared to my other peers.
Hmm.
So having internship experience helped me a lot, but it is not mandatory course or mandatory requirement to graduate. So it's it's something that depends who wants to do it.
Got it. Okay. Cool. Okay. So, sorry. Nice. So looks like a good coursework. It's very interesting, at least from the looks of it. And then you get to do two projects and internship, which is all counting as a part of your credits in master. So that's cool. What projects did you work on?
So one was a research project, very intensive research project on mindfulness. And the second one, I remember just because you said, I took, so in the project, we had the option, we can show internship experience as a second project. So that's what I did. Like, I did not work on the second project explicitly, but I showcased my internship projects as a part of my second project experience.
And then your internship was in Citibank.
No, my internship was in Auto Capital in India.
Oh,
I
sweet.
also, yeah, so I did one internship in India, and other internship I had in SUNY CPD, which was in Syracuse. So I was working for them as a UX designer.
And so I'm assuming also like all these other courses that we showed also had like project element in it and assignments, and all of those also helped you build the portfolio.
Correct. Yes.
Nice. How was the like campus life? Like what was the life like? What is the weather like in Oswego? Is it pretty much like harsh winter and some summer and some
Yeah.
rain? Like
Um, First time when I landed to Syracuse, I had like of course a very bad, very huge transitional transformation in terms of like coming from Mumbai to Syracuse. It's like upside down, because you see in the movies like, oh, you're going to New York City and this is how it looks like, all the fancy stuff, but this was like reverse experience for me, because Syracuse is more like countryside vibe, with a mixture of having some city life. And when I went to Oswego, it's more like a very little town, mainly for college students, but very small town. So the experience was little bit different compared to my other friends. And another thing, so the winter is very harsh over there, so the first 6 months I'm just trying to fit in there, in terms of trying to wear several layers before stepping outside my house, making sure I have my gloves on, I have my mask on or hat on all the time, no matter what, because
And
it's
so fall starts, and then the August is when you landed. So it will be probably nicer weather because it's fall, and then like October is when like the harsh like winter starts.
so I would say for me, specifically from fall itself, it was very cold, because like I'm coming from like 30 degrees Celsius to
Yeah.
dropping it to 20 degrees Celsius, which is like, oh, I'm not used to. And it is like pure, clean environment, no pollution.
Mm, mm,
So I was like wearing jacket most of the time, but as you pointed out, like from October onwards, like it snows, and the snow is very rough because it's extreme upstate. So it's sometimes you have like 5 inches snow, and still you have to get out of your house because you have no choice. You have to go to college for attending the lectures and whatnot. So it
mm,
was,
mm,
but the beautiful side of it is the summer is so beautiful, very pleasant.
mm, mm,
There was a lake beside our campus, Lake Ontario, which is very close to Canada borders too. So
mm.
it's
Yeah.
one of the perks. Like you can see, you can even drive to Canada like within 2 hours of drive, and the Lake Ontario itself, like during the summer, you can swim. That was something that I enjoyed a lot with my friends.
Mm.
Go chill, take food, take beers, and
Mm,
just
nice.
enjoy your
And
college.
how's the safety wise? Like, how's Oswego? Like, is it safe? Is it there are areas which people should not go? Like, what's the vibe of Oswego?
It is super safe. I
Mm,
had never had a bad experience. The
mm,
police department is also always available during, like
mm,
in the night. Also, they are doing round of they do the round, and on campus, off campus, everything is pretty much good. People are very good, and it's since it's very small town, everybody knows each other. Like my bus driver always waves at me, like as if like we.
mhm. Yeah, it's a small town, so yeah, yeah.
Those were the perks of being in the
And
small.
it looks like, is this the lake you're talking about?
Is Lake Ontario, and the campus is
Mm,
huge and very beautiful.
nice. Yeah, it looks. Is this reminding you of your campus?
A lot. I mean, before even like thinking about going through those questions, I just messaged my friends that I'm missing this place. I'm missing you all. Just it's had a lot of
It's
memories.
pretty. Yeah, it's really pretty. So this is the campus and this is the lake?
Yes, and lake is
Wow.
very huge. So I mean, all the areas across Oswego is like covered with Lake Ontario.
Okay, and so your housing. How far was your housing?
It was 10 minutes away by walk
Mm. Walk.
and
Okay.
2 minutes
Yeah.
in bus, so which was pretty good.
Nice. So these were the housing.
On campus, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Nice. Cool. Sorry, I like to like see to know like what exactly we are talking about. So yeah,
That
looks a fun place, and even though like people haven't heard, obviously now have they heard. And Sunny Oswego, if you are watching this, please send some money. Just kidding. But yeah, so it looks fun place and looks like a good place to be. Safe wise, cost of living is cheap, and let's talk about like we're gonna do deep dive on your journey of like how you got internship and full-time job. But in general, if people do masters in HCI, and if you can speak for other department as well, like what's the internship rate, like how many people actually end up getting an internship?
so since this industry is booming, and also most of the companies are now starting to understand the importance of product designers, importance of UX designers, having the internship is comparatively easy, I would say, because not
Interesting.
many students are into
All
UX.
right. Okay.
So like the if you see the ratio of people applying for masters in information technology and computer science versus HCI, it's very less. And I don't
Mm.
know the numbers very well, but like I would say like it's 10 students, like 1:10 ratio.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it is
Mm.
very easy, and the like more and more this industry grew like becomes more popular. I would say the competition is going to be tough, but currently, even like back when I came compared to right now, I see there's a lot of opportunity and lot of jobs available in the
Yeah.
market.
So if you were to throw in like an estimate, like 30 people in your batch or 40 people in your batch, how many of them ended up actually getting the internship? Or was it all of them, or was it some who didn't get?
Who are not interested because they were interested in some research work, because that's another thing people keen to do a lot.
Mm.
But
Okay.
out of 20, 10 people already had an internship before even summer began. Few
Mm.
people were flying to India, and like people like me who also did internship in India. So I would say some close to 13 people already had internship. Seven of them were not prepared with their portfolio, which is a prerequisite as a part of a UX designer. So that's
Yeah.
something one need to know. So otherwise, I would say like everyone could it's not difficult to get a job. And
Mm.
another thing which I could also say, like sometime because of immigration issue, like since we need to have OPT, and most of the companies are not looking for a OPT or a CPT
Mm.
roles. That is
Yeah.
one caveat I can say. But if you play your cards very well, I don't think so you would be not having internship during your summer or during the winter time period.
Yeah. Essentially, what I'm trying to get at is if people did their masters from SUNY Oswego, is because it's not a well-known university. It's not like because they did it from there they won't get it. It's because your preparation, and it would be same no matter where you go. So it's not like your brand is getting the internship or not getting the internship. So like that's what I'm like trying to come like it's what I'm hearing, that even though you go to SUNY Oswego, if you come prepared and you do all the hard work, you will get the internship if you do all the right steps. And
So
now Sony Oswego will have a brand because they are on our podcast. But
circle back. So like even internship is a one thing, but like most of the students who passed out after graduation are working for a big firm.
mm,
My first company was Citibank. I
mm,
had people working for Amazon, Apple, HP, and it's not like a small companies. Okay, there are people who are working for small startups all as well, but it's nothing to do with the university that you passed out from. It is on your skills. Also, SUNY Oswego is not very well known, but the quality of work that we have done, the quality of research that they support for is really great. And I would say it's on your skills, it's on your preparation, which can lend you anywhere that you want. And like, if you see my profile, you will come to know like I have a really good brand, despite of being, however, I have the journey of. So.
Yeah, yeah. And I love that you also like, do mentorship. Like if people who specifically wants to get into UX or HCI world, obviously they can reach out to you and also get like one-on-one mentorship for you, which is kind of you to like even do that. So that's nice. That they can get benefit of that. But anyway, I think that that was mainly it. Like one last thing I would ask is, what are some of the, now that you finished your masters, you're working in an industry for like last 4 years, and you've seen the entire end-to-end journey, what are some of the harsh truth that international students should learn and be aware of before they come?
I would say first thing, don't come to United States or don't choose your masters just because your friends are doing it. Know why you want to do masters, know why you want to come to United States is something that nobody talks about. And I know like last all your post has been talking about like, hey, it looks like shiny world when you come to United States, but it is not as shiny as we think, because we just glorify the good part, but nobody talks about mental health issue, or nobody talks about the harsh reality that you don't get to see your family for longest time. So I think you know what is important and understand the why, because this life is easy but also comes with its own package of all the different emotions. That's one thing that I would say. Second thing, don't come for money, because if you are not passionate about your work, no matter how much money do you make, you will never be happy, because again, it comes down to the same thing. Like, try to understand the core value that you're trying to serve, and try to purpose, like try to achieve from your life. And the third thing that I would say is, don't go behind the crowd, have your own experience. Because
Mm.
I never thought that I would be a LinkedIn content creator, or I would be a mentor before even like starting to do those things, because I feel I wanted something for myself. Like, I wish I had a mentor like myself who can help me, but none of my friend did it. Like, and I like most of the time we think like, hey, not anyone is doing it, why am I doing it, or what if people judge you? So
Mm.
insecurity outside and do something of your own, have your own experiences, because like you will explore so many things, you will explore so many people. And my journey, not just for my masters but also overall, like meeting different people, and most of the people are from from this country itself. Like, I have more citizens who are my friends, and I have a really good bond with them compared to Indian community. And I feel proud about it, because then I'm learning their culture, I'm trying to adapt it. And I never criticize about like, okay, Western culture made me do something like this, or I
Mm.
appreciate those culture, as well as try to remain rooted to my culture. So I feel, don't just be rooted to your culture, but try to explore other culture, and then you will know like how and why they are the way they are. And just
Mm.
appreciate this country for giving you the opportunity, giving you different experience, and more or less having a land where I personally call my home. But it's just adopting many things and culture that makes me feel that people should do more often what I do.
Yeah, love it. I love it. One last question. I kind of know the answer. What are you gonna say? So I'll ask you differently. I was gonna ask you like, would you recommend Sunny Oswego? I know the answer is yes, but let me ask you differently. Who is Sunny Oswego for, and who is it not for? Maybe that's like an interesting way to put it.
Definitely. So I think Sunny Oswego is for all those students who know they are capable of doing anything that they want, and they just want to have experience of living in United States,
They
working.
need a platform to get in and
Yeah,
get an education, good education.
and focus on research, focus on diversity, and also have a financial issues, I would say, or worrying about finances. So it is for them. Sunny Oswego is not for people who is afraid of living alone, or like always want to be around Indian people, I would say, or they are in the doubt that they might not be able to get where they want to get just because of the brand value. So
Mm.
I would not recommend
To
people who
someone who doesn't want to work hard. So don't choose that.
your words, not mine.
Right, but I like the way that you put it also, like if you need like Indian community, it doesn't exist one in Sunny Oswego other than the Indian students itself, so yeah, like, and loneliness is probably going to hit you at some point, right? So especially in the winters, it's definitely going to happen. Yeah, but again, thank you so much. We spoke for like an hour. I hope this was valuable for anyone who wants to go to SUNY Oswego or make a career in HCI. We're gonna film another video on like UX career and how she got into internship and full-time job. So until our next one,
Keep smiling, keep hustling.
nice, cool.
Okay.